go from good to great? That was the question that the engineers at Clew had to figure out when going from the Freedom bindings to the new Independence. So in this video, I'm going to break down the differences between the Freedom, the first pair of Clews, and the brand new Independence. So you know what's the difference between the old model, the new model. Should you finally get a pair of Clews, or if you bought the old model, is it time to upgrade to the Independence? Now, if this is your first video about the Clew bindings and you're like, what are these? I want more information. These are a step-in binding system, arguably the best step-in system in snowboarding. Now, I do ride for Clew and I've been riding them for the last 4 years, but that is why I can say I think they are the best. Over those 4 years, I have literally taken the Freedom binding into gnarly couloirs, off huge kickers, sliding rails, groomers, you name it, I've done it. This binding can do it all. The way it works is you pull this little red lever right here and it ejects you out of the lower part of the binding. The high back stays on your back foot, so when you're in the lift maze, you can kick to the chairlift super easy, get off, step right in. You're just as fast as skiers. That is insane, but one of the best parts is it still has straps to be able to strap into the binding and get nice and tight, where other step-in bindings sometimes don't even have the option to have straps. And if you're thinking, I don't want to have a high back on my foot when I go to the bathroom, just fully unstrap out of the binding and you don't have to worry about that. The other biggest thing about Clews is they work with any boot. So whatever boot company that you love and enjoy and you really want to keep rocking those boots, you can still do that with the Clews. Now let's talk about how to go from good to great. Well, one of the first things you can do to go from good to great is to get lighter and stronger. And that's exactly what Clew did with the Independence binding. This binding is 20% lighter and 15% stronger. And in that process, you can see there's a different design to the binding. You can mainly see those differences from the side angle. The back, we have now gotten rid of the red. There's no more red accents. You can get the Independence in black and white, and there's no more red in the binding. So we're lighter and we're stronger. What else is different? For me, where I wanted to see a big difference is in performance. How are we going to make the Independence perform better than the Freedom? Well, they improved the dampening of the binding, allowing it to be a softer ride. They also introduced canting into the Independence binding, which is a slight angle inwards, making just a more comfortable ride when you're just standing on the board. It's gonna be more comfortable than it was with the Freedom. And on the note of comfortability, the new straps are super comfortable. So the older straps, not that they were uncomfortable, just these new ones, I just feel like they hug your foot so well. Whole brand new design on the bindings, even the toe strap. The toe strap will also sit a little differently, eliminating any chances of stepping onto the front of the toe strap and not getting a good clean step in. The other difference you're going to notice with the straps is now the toolless system. Before, you'd have to use a screwdriver to adjust this up and back. Now you can do that on the fly with no tools. I actually never really adjust my straps too much, but if you're a person that's likes to share your board, or you're borrowing a board from a buddy, you can now adjust these straps super simple. If you didn't know, Clew has developed a locking ratchet, and with the Freedom, it was the first of its kind. It was really rad. That eliminated from the ratchet just being able to come loose on you and you lose your binding or lose your strap, or like when the high back is sitting on the back of your foot, you're not going to accidentally like drop it off the chairlift. With Independence, they have a whole new ratchet that is a locking ratchet that is, honestly, it's smooth. It's zip, 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 zip. Like it's super rad. Okay. Now, when we're talking high backs, they made this little part that just stays on the bottom of your foot with the little tread. They made it thinner on the Independence. So it's a slightly thinner than the Freedom was, which is nice. You know, it's going to just help you notice that it's not there. I barely noticed with the Freedom that I had the high back on the back of my boot, but it's even less noticeable now that it's thinner back there. A little bonus to the Clew bindings is when you are rocking the high back, it has a built-in stomp pad right here at the bottom. You know, it gives you a little bit of grip, helps you grip on your board. So if your board doesn't have a stomp pad, don't worry. You got one built in. Now the heel cup has a lot of new designs to it. First off, it's a little thicker and the angle is slightly different. They created a smoother channel feeding you into where you go into the stepping mechanism, allowing when you step in, it is just an easier glide in to stepping into the binding. Not that it was hard to step in with the Freedoms, it's just smoother and better with the Independence. Now the big upgrade that you're gonna notice with the sound and just overall stepping in is there's now 3 teeth to bite the binding opposed to 2. With the Freedom, there's only 2 teeth that allowed you to step in and like hold you into the binding. With the Independence, there's now 3. It makes the coolest sound. It's like when you step in. And they also cleared some of the space in the lower part of the binding, allowing it to hold less snow. So yes, on a powder day or a day of riding, you could get some snow build up in the back of your heel cup, but you'd have to bend over and knock it out, and then you could step in super smooth. With the Independence, it holds that snow a lot less. You don't have to do that. Basically, I haven't had to do it yet. I've just always been able to just step in because they've made that little pocket less. And I know someone's going to ask, both of these bindings can be used on the Burton channel system. Do not worry about that. The base plates are different. They aren't different in performance. They're just different. So if you did get a AirTag disc plate for the Freedom, you are going to have to get a new AirTag disc plate for the Independence. But that AirTag disc plate is the coolest thing in snowboarding. It literally protects your snowboard from theft. If someone takes it, you know where it's going to go. Or if there's a billion snowboards out on the base of Peak 8 and you're like, where's my snowboard? Just pull out your, find your AirTag thing and you're going to be able to find your snowboard, which is super rad. So those are the physical differences, but from a rider that has rode the bindings for 4 years, and I've gotten a good amount of days on the Independence, what is the physical, what is the mental, what is the difference that I feel when riding the bindings? And I'm going to tell you this, I feel like the Independence are a more athletic binding. When I strap in, I just feel more secure and strong and just I'm ready to get it. And I think that's because of the straps are just holding you in so nicely and softly, as well as like the dampening and the cantering, it just makes you like want to go bigger because it's such a softer landing. But with that being said, I still have a good chunk of Freedom bindings that I'm going to keep on snowboards and keep riding because this is still an incredible binding. So if you got a pair of the Freedoms, I don't think there's a need to upgrade unless you want to be rocking the freshest, nicest bindings on the mountain, the Independence. Grab yours today before they sell out. Clew has sold out every single winter. So you're going to want to grab your pair now, and the color might sell out, the size might sell out. So do it now. Stop waiting. It's linked in the description. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Keep evolving.